So we have 3 fights on the main card before we get to the last, right? And yeah, it all starts with our second featherweight, our second and last featherweight bout, right? Cub Swanson against Nate Landwehr. So Nate the Train, 5'9", 72-inch reach. He's got an 18-7 overall record. Fights out of MMA Masters, right? He's 5-5 in the UFC. He did go 5-0 in M1, which, I mean, that's impressive. Right, so, yeah, last time out for Landwehr, right? He's coming off 2 losses. There was the fight of the night war with Morgan Charrier, right, in July last year. And then December 2024, he got stopped by Don Hoi Choi in the last round. I mean, it was a war. And then in the last round, oh man, it was a good fight. It was a really good fight, right? Now, Nate, he made his UFC debut, right, in January 2020, right? He choked out Herb. Oh, he stopped him with knees, my bad. Sorry, he got stopped by Herbert Burns. Jesus Christ. I don't know what's wrong with me right now, people. But yeah, he lost that. But then he came back and beat Darren Elkins, which is like, yo, you know? He lost to Julian Rosa, but then choked out Ludovic Klein. Really good one there. And he beat David Onama, right? Choked out Austin Ligo. But once he moved up slightly, couldn't get past Dan Eag, you know? And that, I think that's the thing with Nate, right? He's very good. He's scrappy as a motherfucker. But I don't know, like once he moves up slightly, it doesn't quite work out. Whoo, boy, that's a good fight. You know what I mean? That's a fight, right? Cub, he's 42, 5'8", 70-inch reach, 30-14 overall. And I do believe this is it for Cub. This will be the last fight. Right? He's 15-10 in the UFC. Now, I first started watching Cub, you see, and man, he had some great fights back then, man. Oh my days, some really great fucking fights in the WEC. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah. Who did he? Micah Miller, I remember, was very good. Right? He fought Jens Pulver, didn't win that one. But beat Hiroki Tayaka. Yeah, I believe he fought Jose Aldo the first time. Right? I think that might have been Aldo's first scene. And no one knew. And then we saw that fight and we're like, oh my God. Right? It was one of those. It was like, Jesus Christ, man. But yeah, no, he had some good fights. Chad Mendes fight, right? Mackin Summer Menza, right? He had some good fights in the WEC. Finally, they got bought by the UFC. And he made that transition in November 2011. It was a loss to Ricardo Lamos, right? But came back, got some good wins, right? Beat George Roop, Ross Pearson, Charles Oliveira back in the day, you know? Dustin Poirier, right? Dennis Silva, Jeremy Stevens, all fantastic wins, right? He lost to Frankie Edgar, Max Holloway, right? But yeah, came back. I mean, the win over Du Hoi Choi was, oh my God. I think that was fight of the night. I think it got fight of the year. That was a fight, right? That was epic. Oh man, that was awesome. You know? And there's been, you know what I mean? He's had those wars, right? And he has fought everyone, as you can see. Right? He's also had, you know, Brian Ortega, Renato Morcano. Man, he beat Chrome Gracie. I forgot he beat Chrome Gracie. Right? But so many good freaking fights. You know? And last time out, he knocked out Billy Colantino, which was like, oh my God. You know? Man, there's just, you know, he put it on Hakeem Dawodu, right? Like, he's good. He stopped Darren Elkins, the damage, right? An opponent they both have in common. So, Cub still got it, right? Obviously, he's older, right? And he's not going to be challenging for a belt or anything like that, but he can still beat plenty of people in, you know, any organization right now. Oh, like, you want Cub to be able to go out in style, right? It'd be tremendous for Cub to have a, you know, swan song, right? Go out like Michael Chiesa. Like, that's what you want for Cub. I'm going to say Cub for the win, right? Because I want Cub to have that awesome send off, you know? I don't know if it will play like that, but yeah, in an ideal world, in the world I want to see, that's what I would love. That's what I would love, right? So we then go to the light heavyweights, right? The first of our clashes, you know? We have former title challenger Dominick Reyes against Johnny Walker. Interesting bout, right? Interesting bout. Johnny Walker. He's 34, 6'6", 82.3-inch reach. Right? He is 22-9 with 1 no contest. Coming off a win in his last fight. He's 8-6 in the UFC, 1 no contest. Came via the Contender Series, you know? So he won that contract all the way back in, beat Luis Enrique da Silva, right? He then came back and stopped Khalil Roundtree with an elbow. Right, that was his debut, November 2018. And when you see where Khalil is now, right, that's a really good fucking win. Beat Justin Ledet, Misha Cirkunov, you know, all good wins. And it was like, oh, God. At the time, right, they were talking about Johnny Walker, John Jones, all of this. But then he got stopped by Corey Anderson and Nikita Kroyov, right? And you're just like, oh, you saw the flaws in his game. Now, he's been working to perfect them, right? Definitely been doing that. There are times when it's just the IQ wasn't quite there, and there's the vicious knockout, like the Jamal Hall knockout. The Jamal Hall knockout was just, I mean, that was bad, right? That was bad. But I don't know, man. Like, it's one of those ones where we've seen him, like, get some good wins, right? I include Alaba, Paul Craig. But then in that, I mean, the whole Magomed Ankalaev situation was odd, right? In the second fight, yeah, that was just, you know. And then the way Volkan Oezdemir just shut his lights off was a little worrying. But in his last fight, right, he had a very good win over Meng Yang. Got a performance of the night with that one. So, Enigma, right? Forever Enigma. It's hard to tell what you're gonna get from him. Now he's going up against the devastator Dominick Reyes, 36, 6'4", 77-inch reach. Right, he is also coming off a loss. Well, no, he's coming off a loss in his last. Right, Walker's coming off a win. He's 9-5 in the UFC. So Dom, he made his debut, right, with a performance of the night win over Swanson in June 2017. Right, and rolled off a stack of wins, you know, Jeremy Kimball, Jared Cannonier, Ovin St. Preux, Volkan Oezdemir, Chris Weidman, which led to that shot at Jones, right? Wasn't, you know, didn't get the win. He then challenged Jan Blachowicz, lost that. Then lost to Yuri Procházka and then Ryan Stam. And you're like, fuck. It's just all falling apart for Dom. And also with those, there were some vicious knockouts, right? Which did have you worried. Now, he was able to turn it around, right? Beat Dustin Jacoby, Anthony Smith, Nikita Kryov, right? Looked very good, but got starched by Ulberg last time out. So it's, yeah. It's one of those ones where it's you know, it's hard because they've both been knocked out badly, right? They've both had that. I think that Reyes might be the more rounded of the two. You know, Johnny is reckless. He has tamed that somewhat, right? But yes, I think I'm going Dom, but I don't know. Right? It's another one of those where it's just like, I don't know. Right? It's very dependent on, you know, how they turn up. But yeah, I think we'll go Dominick Reyes for the win. So then, people, we have our sole heavyweight clash on the card. It is Curtis Blaydes against Josh Hokit. And, yeah, right? This has been interesting for, I guess, some of the antics that we've seen in the fight, right? But, shit, Josh Hokit, he's an odd chap, right? You can tell he loves pro wrestling, right? And he's trying to make a name for himself. He's trying to get people to be talking about him. And I think, you know, you looked at Hokit and you're like, he's I think things are going a bit weirdly of late, you know? It just seems a bit odd, right? But Josh, he's 28, 6'1", 73.5-inch reach. Overall 8-0 pro. 8-0 Jackson Wink. In the UFC. Went 3-0 in LFA. 2-0 in Bellator. Came up via the Contender Series. Won the contract August 2025, where he stopped Galimero Yael. Right? So, got that debut November last year. Performance of the night. First round stoppage of Max Gimius. He then, last time out, I mean, that was a weird one. I mean, like, Denzel retired at the end of the fight. That was an odd one, right? But I think the problem with that fight was Denzel was, I think he was down for a US wrestling tryout for the Olympics or something like that. And it just seemed he didn't want to engage. He didn't want to get hurt to blow those chances. He shouldn't have taken that fight, right? It was very odd. But Josh got the win, you know. He did get a performance of the night for that one as well. Right now, outside the promotion, like in the LFA, he's just stopped. He's stopping everyone. You know, he did get a rear naked choke win, right? Which is interesting. He's had an armbar win and an arm triangle win as well. You know? But, yeah, are you going to pull those things off against someone like Curtis Blaydes, right? Curtis Razor Blaydes. He's 35, 6'4", 80-inch reach. So, you know, I think Curtis definitely has, well, I mean, it's a 6.5-inch reach advantage, which is bonkers, right? Which is like, oh shit, Curtis. He's 3 inches taller as well. He's got a 19-5 overall record, coming off a win in his last. And he's 14-5, won no contest in the UFC. You know, so last time out, we saw him get a split over Rizvan Kunev. That was June last year. Right? So, you know, he got to challenge Aspinall for the interim belt. Didn't work out. Man, I think he was the first to stop Jaltin Almeida, right? Which was impressive, you know? Definitely. I think that's the thing, man. Like, when Curtis is on, he can look really good. He looked good against Chris Dukas. Like, he was able to stifle Jairzinho Rosenstruck. You know what I mean? Like, oh, man, Curtis can look very good. His heel, you know what I mean? But he's wrestling, and he's striking is decent. Right, it's not terrible. So I think Curtis Blaydes, right, the Razor Blaydes, I think he's underrated, right? I don't think everyone necessarily, when they look at him, they think, yes, that's a potential champion, right? That's a world beater. But Blaydes, he has got those skills, you know. And I with this one, you know, I think obviously he could win, right? He could land a big shot, knock him out. But I think at this stage, it might be, you know, a level too much, right? So, yeah, I'm taking Curtis Blaydes for the win. Partly because I could do without another Josh Hokit rant on the mic, frankly. So let's have Curtis stop that from happening. But it's a very intriguing fight. Drew Takers 2, our co-main event.